In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to locate articles in databases. We're starting here at the Australia Mountain Community College library homepage. We're going to scroll up here to the left side and click on Find Articles, Books, eBooks, Videos, and More. And then we're going to scroll down just a little bit because we're interested in this area right here, articles. You can already see a list of databases that we subscribe to that you can click on. JSTOR in particular, so this one here is usually designed for literature articles. So if you're in various literature classes, you might find articles and essays there in particular. The other databases that you see here are all pretty general. EBSCOhost is the largest, and in fact, you'll find many smaller databases folded into EBSCOhost. So when you search a database for like EBSCOhost, you're actually searching multiple databases at once. You can see here that you have an option of adding additional databases for your search. So all searches start with Master File Premier and an Academic Search Complete. So these are two smaller databases housed within EBSCOhost. But depending on your topic, you might add additional databases that are specialties. We're going to look up the topic of the CSI effect. It's actually an effect happens to jurors when they are on juries and they're deciding criminal cases. They're so much more knowledgeable now due to police procedural television shows like CSI, which kicked it all off about 20 years ago, that jurors are now smarter about science. And so they're interested in mitochondrial DNA and whether or not DNA came off of a cigarette butt at the crime scene and fingerprints and things that we maybe weren't as interested in as jurors 25, 30 years ago. So it's a phenomenon that has happened across the country since CSI came into its inception. And let's say we're going to write a paper about this particular sociological, psychological effect. We should probably look in some databases to help us out. Arts and architecture and business and economy aren't going to help us, so we're not going to add those. Communication and media. This would actually be a great database to add because the CSI effect really happened because of the television show CSI and other shows like Law and Order, Special Victims Unit, Rizzoli and Isles came about. And those are all topics that would fall under media because those are television shows. Computer science and engineering would probably not help us out. Earth and environment, not so much. Education, no. Gender, sexuality, history, probably not. Let's scroll down. Law and political science, definitely, because this happened in the world of the court system in real life. Life sciences, no. No literature. Nursing and health, no. Philosophy and religion. It's your wild card. For any search that I do in a database, I always add philosophy and religion because you never know what you're going to get. And then if we scroll down, psychology and sociology, absolutely, because we know that this is both a psychological and a sociological phenomenon. All right. So we have added additional databases to our search. We're going to hit continue. So now when we do our search by entering our terms here in the search field, we are going to look in all of those databases at one time. So you're going to do a huge search in a very short amount of time. Let's talk a little bit about entering your search term. Now, if I just do CSI and effect, the problem with this is that the search is going to look for any articles that have CSI and have the word effect, but not necessarily together. And I need the term to be a term or a phrase where CSI and effect are together. So to get that, I need to put quote marks around my term. Now it's going to do a search for CSI effect with only those two words connected to each other, not separated out. So my search is going to be much more specific, and I'm only going to get what it is that I'm looking for. Some other options on this page before we hit search. Over here in this area, it looks like when you use this database, it's automatically going to give you a full text. This means that you're going to get the entire article, not just an abstract or a summary of it. Also, if you need to do peer-reviewed, or if you're being asked by a professor to have a peer-reviewed journal or journal article, you can specifically click and marked scholarly, and that means that your article is going to be peer-reviewed. If you're not familiar with the peer-reviewed process, essentially what it means is that experts in the field have read the article and have approved it. Popular articles you find in Time Magazine, in Maxim, in Scientific America, in National Geographic, those articles are fact-checked, but they're not necessarily reviewed by experts in the field. So there is a difference in the quality of article that you're going to get, and many instructors want specifically peer-reviewed. So we don't need to click that for now, and we're not interested in any of the other search options that are down here, but you can see that there's quite a bit of options for you. We just want to make sure we get a full text. And now I'm going to go ahead and hit search. And in a matter of seconds, we're going to get, it looks like 47 different results. Not too bad. You'll notice that when you're searching for an article in the database, that it should come up looking pretty much like this. You have some filtering options on the left side of the page. For example, I could click down here on magazines or just academic journals, and it tells you how many results I have. And then in the middle section, you're going to get the bulk of the information you need to determine if the article is something that you're interested in. First of all, this tells you the title. You also, in this paragraph, which is called an abstract, will get the writers of the particular article. It'll tell you when it was published, what volume and issue, the page numbers it appeared on, how many pages it is, and then you see this fancy word here, abstract. That just means summary. So after this word, everything that you read is a summary of the article. So when you're doing research, being able to read the summary instead of having to read a 16-page article makes it a lot easier to conduct your research. You don't have to spend as much time. Down here at the bottom, you're going to see that you have options for HTML text and PDF. The difference between the two is that HTML text means that somebody actually sat down and typed the article. That means sometimes there's going to be misspellings, there's sometimes information that was left off, and there's no images. If you're getting a PDF full text, then you're actually getting the whole article photographed as it appeared in its original journal. So let's go ahead and select this article, and we're going to click the HTML full text option first so you can see what comes up. You will notice that it is a typed version of the article, and you can see the whole article is there. If you scroll down, we don't have any images. It tells you some additional information about authors and when it was updated and that kind of thing. And then back at the top, you have some other options. You can actually listen to it being read to you. You can choose American accent, Australian accent, or British accent. So if you are multitasking and you want the article to be read to you while you're making notes on something else, it's kind of a fun, interesting way to read the information. On the left side, you have some options. You can also switch over to PDF full text if you actually want to see if there were images or charts that were with this article. And then back over here on the right-hand side, you have some other options of things that you can do. You can add the article to a folder. You could add it to your Google Drive. You could print it, email it to yourself, save it. There is an option for how you would cite this source properly. And there's a way to export it out and do some other things here. So you have a lot of options when you are locating articles in databases as far as how to save the article, how to have it read to you, or you can read it yourself. Now let's click on the PDF so you can see the difference. The PDF, as I stated, is a photocopy of the exact article as it appeared in the journal. So you will notice that this is the way it appeared originally in the Social Science Quarterly published by Wiley and Blackwell. And this is what the actual article looked like as it was in there. And there we go. We have a nice big chart. So the chart is reproduced here. And as we continue on, you can see it's just a standard article. Again, you could switch back over on the left-hand side to HTML full text if you wanted. And then back over here on the right, we still have all of our other options for saving it to the drive, emailing it, printing it, and then properly citing it if you want to cite it. So this is how you would locate articles in a database. It's as simple as that.